Hi guys, my name is Flora, and I'm going to be talking about the topic what you need to know as a data scientist. So, um, okay, this is just a brief introduction to myself. A data scientist and a technical writer. I'm currently an ambassador for Microsoft and Akure community. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about is just like a summary of all what we've been talking about today, like what you need to know as a data scientist, what you need to know to achieve all what the other person has presented on. So this is a very broad field, and it entails a lot of topics, a lot of skill sets under it. It entails analysis, visualization, web development, machine learning, storytelling, report making, and different other skills. So this is just like a pictorial. Okay, so as you can see, this overview is very broad, and going through it will take you years, like a long time, to be able to like know all of this. So but this is not actually like the basics of data science. Like this actually has a lot of topics under it, but this is not the basics to become a data scientist. So what you need to become a data scientist, like what you need to know to become a data scientist, most of the time, okay, I find that most data scientists actually on their own. It's not like actually have a degree in data science, but for we that are being self-taught, that are learning on our own, what you actually need to become a very good data scientist, you need to develop a structure for yourself so that you'll be able to have the required skill sets to become a data scientist. And having a structure, okay, a university gives you a structure with which you can follow, but mapping out your own structure will actually give you an edge, because I feel it's to make you think out of the box, think of how to do things differently and efficiently, even when you don't have a guideline from a school. So, I actually streamlined this pictorial skill set every data scientist should have, and the skill sets involve programming skill, analytical skill, statistical skill, communication, and networking skill. I believe with this skill set, you would actually, if you follow this skill like intensely, in-depthly, you are going to be able to achieve all these in than you think. So skills. So a plus for you as a data scientist to have deep knowledge of programming, because sometimes when you are working on your data, probably you are trying to perform some manipulation on your data. Some inbuilt functions are not going to be enough to analyze your data set. Just like what Mrs. Temitope just put us through, NumPy and all. There's sometimes you actually need to make some manipulation on your data set, and using a model might not be enough. So you might actually need to have deep knowledge of programming. And two major languages that are usually used for programming in data science is the R and Python. This is because it has there are a lot of packages and a lot of libraries, modules under it, which you can perform a lot of analysis, manipulations, and all. Also, there are apart from Python and R, JavaScript is also good for data analysis, but it's not as popular. It actually has libraries in it. I think is the reason why it's not as popular as Python and the likes is probably because of this syntax. Not everybody like enjoys working with JavaScript syntax. Also, knowing a query language like SQL is actually very important as a data scientist, because as a data scientist, the name data is associated with your name already. So you like need to work with databases and retrieve data from it, and sometimes you actually need to perform some data modeling on your database. So programming skill is actually very, very important for every data scientist to have. Also, sometimes software engineering skill is part of what data scientists need to know. Although it's not a prerequisite to become a data scientist, but sometimes it's a plus. This is because sometimes you create pipeline models that which you need to deploy, and deploying it. Okay, that's the role of most time people. That's the role of a data engineer, deploying of model. So in that, you need to like work with some frameworks like Apache Spark, work with Kubeflow, Kubernetes, and that's people might say is out of line for a data scientist. Yeah, it's actually out of line because that's what a software engineer is supposed to do. But what if you're working on a project and you don't have a collaborator, a software engineer as part of your collaborators? You might actually have to do it by yourself. So that's why I said programming skill is very, very important for a data scientist to have. But software engineering skill is not a prerequisite, but it's just a plus. It's just an added advantage for you as a data scientist. So moving on, the next skill set is analytical skill. So analytics actually help you to understand and interpret your data, and is actually a very important skill for a data scientist to also have. Most time people tend to be like, okay, I'm just in the data science field, so I'm not going into data analysis. But it's actually important for anyone working with data to have, you need to have analytical insights on whatever data you are working with. This is because, okay, analysis will actually help you have insights on your data. And so sometimes you actually need to know how to work with analytical tools which will help you analyze your data. Most data scientists are actually comfortable working with their preferred programming language for analysis. You can actually perform analysis using Python, using your R. You can create, you can visualize your data using some packages like Seaborn, Matplotlib, Pandas, and all of that. But sometimes it's also an added advantage if you know how to use some analytical tools aside those. So some analytical tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, they're actually very recommended for creating, for analysis and visualization. Also, those tools give you an aesthetics. So when you create dashboard using those tools, it actually makes your work like much more beautiful. Yeah, it's actually more beautiful than when you use your programming language like Python and all of that. So personally, for me, I prefer to perform my visualization using analytical tools like Power BI. Then you can actually combine all of it with your preferred programming language. So that's also another skill a data scientist should have, because when you create your dashboard, which has your analyzed data, your data visualization, you can actually use it as an insight to check for trends, and also use it as for hypothetical predictions. So moving on, the next skill set for a data scientist to have is statistical skill. In my opinion, this is like the most important skill set for every data scientist to have. This is because you, as a data scientist, you would at some point have to work with machine learning models to probably create predictions, and you actually need to have high accuracy at the end of the day. If not, all what you've done is like is not going to be useful if at the end of the day what you predicted is not accurate or it's giving a wrong result. So it's your statistical knowledge that would actually help you stay in line with what you've actually done. If the data set you're working with is actually going to give you good results. That's because with statistical knowledge, you can actually identify outliers, biases, and know which one to take out and which one to leave in, which one is not part of your data set, which one you have to take out and run on its own, and actually have a good working machine learning model. So statistics can't like be done without as a data scientist, especially when you're working with your machine learning model. Is actually very, very important because outliers could actually reduce the efficiency of your trained model. So if you're able to identify those, you're able to, it will actually help in preparation of creating a good model. So that's just it for analytical skills. Then the last skill that is also very, very important for data scientists, and I think this. Hello, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Last skill. All right. Okay. The last skill I'm going to be talking about is the communication and networking skill. I feel this is the most underrated skill a data scientist have. Most people tend to overlook the need for communication because most people are focused on doing the actual work than the aftermath effect of the work. So most organizations that you'd probably be working with, creating insights for them and analyzing their data, they don't care about what you are doing. They don't care about your code. They don't care about your analysis, like what is working. What they are after is seeing the results of what you've done. So the manner in which you communicate it to them, your report, very, very important. So imagine creating your data and your delivery is terrible and people have no understanding of what you actually created. Then that means you've not done how to report and deliver it well. So as a data scientist, I feel you should also be a good writer and a good storyteller. Storytelling is actually a subset of data science, like one of the different roles in the data science field. And as a data work you've done, you should be able to communicate to your audience that are from a non-technical background, and they should be able to understand the effect of all you've done and understand the impact and be able to make decisions on it. In a place like Nigeria, for instance, when they seek out a data scientist, they need all these skills in them They don't look that, okay, you are only creating a model. They actually look for the results you are giving out. So it's very essential for a data scientist to be able to communicate their results with. Also, communication is important apart from delivering your work. It's also important when you're collaborating with people, especially when you're analyzing data for people in the non technical background, just like the former presenter, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Aja, I think she also mentioned it when she was talking about how the data scientists communicates with the people in the healthcare industry. Okay, so good communication is important. You need to know what they're trying to achieve and be able to achieve that. Else, if you're doing it by your own self and ignoring the fact that, okay, this is actually where they're trying to point out, this is actually where they want insight to be drawn from, then all your work might give a total a result that is not needed or that is not necessary or might be misinterpreted. Also, networking with your other data scientists and people from other fields is very important. Like I said, data science is actually a very broad field. Like, it's a very, very broad field. As you can see in that pictorial overview, that entails mathematics, it entails software engineering, entails programming, and all of that. It entails a lot of things. So you should actually be open to collaboration. When you have a data science project, don't just take it upon yourself that, oh, just I'm going to do everything. Sometimes it's actually good to do it on your own, especially when you're practicing and trying to be a good data scientist. But in the long run, you will actually need to learn how to work with teammates, learn how to collaborate. In most organizations, for instance, they don't take in just one data scientist that, okay, this is the data scientist for this company. It's usually a group of data scientists, probably a lead data scientist. So once someone is doing a task, someone is facing the analysis, someone is distributed. You actually need to know how to collaborate well and communicate things well, so you can. Hello? Can anybody hear me? I don't know what happened. I got logged out. Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I got logged out. It's okay. So I'll be running up soon. So okay, and from data science has been around for a very, very long time, and is something that is not going out. It's not going to fade out anytime soon. So you as a data scientist still remains. So it's not just about the tool, it's more about knowing how to achieve results, knowing the solution to a problem. So every day new tools are being made, new programming languages are coming up. but what matters is knowing how to solve a particular problem. So even if you, as a data scientist, can solve a problem using your pen and paper, that is totally fine. Then you can make it more efficient by looking for a particular tool. Okay, as a data scientist, you keep knowing more, you keep learning more, you keep learning. That's it. Because you see people that are in the field for up to 20 years and they still keep learning, because like I said, new tools are coming out. So you just need to keep on looking for solutions and looking for a better way to deliver those solutions. Okay, so in conclusion, there are different roles you can choose to play as a data scientist. It's a very, very broad field, and there are a lot of even, like I said, it's an evolving field. So most of the time, when you see data data scientists, it's that product is people, analysts. What's needed to look for the ads and you fall in line with it. You have to be able to pass thinking. That's actually and become good in few skills. Then you finally find out you are good in data storytelling and choose to remain in that field, or you finally find falls in line with an expert in deploying your model and probably find yourself in data engineering track or something. So that's just what's so that's just what a data scientist is supposed to know. And that's the end of my presentation. You can connect with me on these platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Flora Oladipupo, for your session. Thank you very much.